Hi everybody. I'm so glad to be able to say hello again. Thank you for coming into my channel. I have to apologize first for missing out on posting yesterday and today. My life kind of got chaotic for a while there and overwhelmed me. And I have to say, one of my viewers reached out to me. Her name is Kathy. And she is so wonderful and so sweet and so very encouraging, and asked when I was going to have my next video and asked what she could do to make sure she's notified every time I post. Which, by the way, if you're new to watching YouTube, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button that's found below. And then to the right of it, there's a little bell icon. You can click that, and then you'll always get videos of your YouTubers that you subscribe to. So anyhow, I wanted to thank you for dropping by. And if you like this video, at the end of the video, please take a moment and give me a thumbs up. It will really make my day. So on with the video. So today I had a very interesting day. Yesterday, my almost new car, with no problems whatsoever, I went to pick up my husband from work, and I had turned the car off because he wasn't quite ready. And when he came out, it didn't start. And there had been no indication whatsoever that there was any troubles. It runs like a dream. So fortunately, one of the guys at work was able to give me a jump start on my battery, and we didn't quite know if it was the battery or the alternator. And so I just drove home and we parked it, and it was going to be a big mystery until the morning whether it was going to turn over so that I could drive my hubby to work, which it did, thankfully. So I took it into the Nissan dealership, who gave me excellent service and very understanding. And they checked it out and they said, oh, it's just a battery that needs replaced. So they replaced the battery. And the one thing that we had noticed, that I had noticed yesterday, was prior to it not turning over, the lights in the radio was not bright. It barely could be seen. Well, after they gave me a new battery today, and I went off and got my hubby some lunch at 7-Eleven, which don't ever do that because it ends up costing more than just doing a drive-through. It was like $15 to get a small little snack box that had egg, a hard-boiled egg and cheese, carrots and celery, and a little peanut butter. He had a sandwich which was chicken club, and then a small little package of Lay's chips. Not sponsored, but should be. And also, what else did I get him? I got him a fresh banana, and of course a tub of diet soda. So anyhow, dropped that off to him, went to Ross's to do some shopping because I needed some new throw rugs in the kitchen, and came back out and started it up, and lo and behold, the radio's lights were dim again. So I was a little concerned whether this was an omen that the car was not going to start again. And I went back to the Nissan dealer, and fortunately for me, I was able to drive through McDonald's and get a couple of those chicken strips. I love the $2, well, they're $2.50 now. They raised the prices. The buttermilk chicken strips, and they're only 270 calories, which is awesome. And I find that if I eat those slowly and have a big glass of water, I'm really full. So anyhow, went back and sat in the lobby and had a nice relaxing time. And they came out and said, well, they think it's a coincidence that the radio is acting up at the same time I needed a new battery. So we're hoping that it was a coincidence. They have ordered me a new radio, and when it comes in, they'll put that in. But all of my things are free. Even if it had been the alternator, he said that would have been free because it's still under warranty. I saw a little old lady. She looked like she was in her 70s, and she was very upset because they were explaining to her about her car. It had some really, really important, necessary repairs in the undercarriage. Could be really especially dangerous for her to be driving around in that. And the poor lady was torn because they're talking several thousands of dollars of repairs that really have to be done. And so she was beside herself, and she was asking their opinion. Is it really worth putting all this into it? Or should I just try to see about getting a different car? And you could tell she was so stressed and so troubled. And I kind of sort of have been there before in that same situation when I had older cars that did not have warranty. So I felt very empathic towards her. Not sympathy, but empathy, because I have been there. And kind of logged that in the back of my head. And I proceeded to whine a little bit to anybody and everybody that I'd bump into. My husband and I went back to McDonald's for dinner because I was so exhausted from my day that I couldn't even bring myself to do the dinner, which I had New York strip steaks thawed out in the fridge, and was going to make mashed potatoes and salad and vegetable. Anyhow, we stopped in there, and I was proceeding. My one friend that I bumped into there, she was asking how have I been, and I proceeded to whine about my day. And then I told my husband as we were driving home, you know, when I think about it, and I think about that little lady that is so overwhelmed with what to do, and when I think about a friend of mine that's probably in her last days or weeks or months because of cancer that she's been battling off and on for almost, I think, 18 years, something like that. And it's almost time for her to cross over and go home. When I think about all the people that they would love to have my life, they would love to have my grumbles. When the worst day that you've had in a long time is a day when you had to go and take your car 2 times for free parts. When you come home to a nice comfortable bed, my house isn't as clean or as tidy as I wanted or as it should be, but it's a house. And when the rain starts, I can look out the window at the rain and enjoy it from inside. And I start to think about, we take for granted all the wonderful things that are in our life. And even the poorest of us, even the ones that are the most lonely, we all have it pretty darn good when you think of all the other people that would love to have our lives, would love to trade places with us. And I think that tonight when I say my prayers, when I go to sleep, I think that I have a fresh perspective that perhaps I had kind of lost sight of for a little while. And I think that's kind of normal for all of us. So I was just sharing this with you just in case, perhaps like me, you too have kind of lost a grasp of your perspective and maybe are having some moments when you're thinking, woe is me. And when we're in it, of course, it feels horrible to us. But if we just step backwards a little bit, and we can have a fresh look at it. So anyhow, I'm going to be back with the program. Tomorrow I'm going to get a couple items so that I will be able to film downstairs in my kitchen. Now, since I have hip and back problems, a lot of times my kitchen is my table, my big table that I have that I can cook at right in front of my sofa. So here's your project. You know, in the lower, if you scroll down, some people are new to YouTube and don't know this. If you scroll down past all those other videos that they're advertising, at the bottom, way down there, you can leave a comment for me. So here's your project. I've already had one person, my daughter Rachel, has given me her entry, so to speak, of what she'd like to see me make. And I would like to get some more entries. So if there's a recipe that you've kind of been curious about, but would rather somebody else be the guinea pig and make it and taste it and let you know how it is, try to copy the URL to the online recipe and include it in your comment. Excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Let me get a drink of water here. Sorry. And I will say, let's give it a little time period so you have time to look for recipes that you want to choose one. Just choose one per person and link the URL in a comment. And what I'm going to do on Friday, how about Aloha Friday? I will write down all the entries on a separate piece of paper. I'll fold them in half and mix them up in a bowl or a hat or something. And then I'll pull one, and that's the recipe that I will make on a video and taste and review. Does that sound like fun? So get busy and find a good recipe, okay? I love to cook, and this should be good fun. So I love you all very much. Thank you for sharing the last 12 minutes with me. I'm going to be mindful and try to keep my videos shorter, and perhaps just, if I have a lot going on, maybe just post 2 videos for the day instead of one long one, okay? And yeah, I think that's about it. I've got some bright ideas that have been popping in my head. Boing! So I love you very much. Thank you for stopping into my house today. And remember, give a thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow. Aloha!